Good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Mornings. I am your host, Patricia Ribeiro Wolfson. I am an intuitive coach, an energy practitioner, and a life strategist. And we are here today to talk about avoiding pain. We're not going to really talk about we are. We're going to talk about avoiding pain because avoiding pain doesn't heal it. And I really want one of the things that we do on this show, I want to equip you with the tools and the strategies for you to be able to heal the pain that you hold inside that is holding you back from achieving the things that you want. That pain, that fear, those weights of resistance and hesitation. I want to help you process that to help alleviate some of the stress and overwhelm in your life. And because I feel like everybody needs these tools to address their own inner resistance, their own resistance to their growth and evolution. Because if each person faces their pain and is able to move even just a little bit more through that, if I can help in any way to ease or release some of what has been holding you back, well, then I have accomplished my mission. So if you're watching, let me know. If anything that I share with you helps you, let me know and say hi, because I would love you to say hi to me, I guess. I don't know. Does that make sense? Sure, why not? Okay. I'm changing the color again on my thing. And I'm going to open up the chat so that I can see who is here and who says hi, and let me know where you're watching from. Okay, so we're going to dive in this episode to why you need to sit with your discomfort. And I say this I say this as someone who is really, really talented at avoiding discomfort. I am a class A compartmentalist, okay, which means I compartmentalize my feelings so that I can function. I show up here every day, and this is genuine. I am in a good mood most of the time. And also, I have deep pain. And also, there are things in my life that I avoid. And sometimes I avoid them on purpose. And sometimes it is a subconscious avoidance because the pain is so deep that I may not even realize that it's there. And that is why we have to kind of do it a one layer at a time, one feeling at a time, one trigger at a time. And I will talk a lot more about sort of facing triggers. And I actually have, and I don't have it here in the links, but wait, tomorrow's Friday, so it's Fun Friday. I'm going to share with you um, I'm creating a new healing tool. I'm redoing the healing your triggers in 7 steps. It's something that I created many years ago, and I am redoing it, and I will make that available for you next week. Okay, so next week we will talk about healing through your triggers, and we will take those steps together. In fact, I'm going to write that down because thanks to ADHD, I may not remember that I said that to you. So I'm going to write that down right now. Healing through triggers. Okay. And it is a worksheet that I have that can help. In the meantime, today, all I want to do is really focus on the importance of sitting with your discomfort, the importance of feeling your feelings without judgment, and the importance of embracing what is and then releasing what you can and then moving forward in order for you to then alleviate some of that pressure, that stress, some of that resistance, so that the next time you are faced with either that same trigger or that same situation, that same challenge, that same person, that you are able to make a different choice, that you have somehow made yourself feel safer to take a different action so that you can break the patterns that are holding you back Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, every time you face a fear, every time you face a challenge, every time you avoid, well, then you are just putting more things on your plate for the future version of you, or you're stuffing more things into your body that then it has to hold for you. And when your body gets full of the things it needs to hold for you, well, that is when we encounter dis ease in our body, right? When we feel unbalanced, when we start to feel symptoms, right? Because our body is always holding everything for us because this is the vessel that we came here with. And if we don't release things, one step at a time, or acknowledge the energy that comes in and takes up space, it remains there and it just festers. Okay, that pain festers, it lingers. And that's why we start our show every day with some breaths and releasing, because we want to get used to releasing the things that don't serve us. Even if you don't know how to do that, even if you're like, well, how the hell do I release this? Set the intention to release it and trust that the steps that you are taking and the actions that you are taking are going to support you in doing it. Okay. So set the intention and then just trust, right? That is me first, right? You show up and then you trust. The last two, MFIRST, right? Me first. S is showing up, T is trust. So you show up and you trust. Okay. Do what you got to do and trust that it's going to happen. All right. So let's begin with our morning ritual. I have a functioning candle today. This one is watermelon and cucumber. And oh my God, it was on yesterday and it was delicious. I mean, whatever. It's a delicious smell. It just is. All right, here we go. Lit our candle. If you have a candle, please do that. If you have a place where you feel comfortable to do our little breathing exercises together, I would appreciate if you join me. Okay, and we will do this together. Oops, got to turn off the phone in case so it doesn't ring. Yay, because we don't want it ringing while we're doing our exercises. All right. Okay, here we go. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. And when you inhale, I want you to imagine bringing in all of the love, light, and life force energy the universe has to offer. Okay. I want you to bring it into your body and I want you to fill your body with it. Let it go to every crevice, every cell. And I want you to just set the intention that it is going to dissolve or dissipate any energy that doesn't serve you. And with your exhale, you release it. Okay. So we're going to do that together and we're going to do it 3 times. That is going to, number one, get you in your body so that you can embody your intentions for the day. Number 2, it just gets you focused so that you can take in this information and hopefully leave here feeling a little better. And number 3, it is going to help you practice connecting with your body. So when you feel disconnected, when you feel lost, when you're overwhelmed, do this exercise. Do these 3 breaths. I promise you it will help. Okay. It may not solve all your problems, but it will help for a moment because that's what it's supposed to do. Okay. Because this stimulates your vagus nerve and your parasympathetic system is activated so that you can relax just a little. Okay. Here we go. Breathe in and hold and release. Okay. Do that again. Breathe in and hold and release. And the final breath, make this count to increase that capacity to receive the life force energy. Here we go. And hold and release. And as I exhale, I already start doing my stretching. Okay. And you can do your stretching too. Stretch whatever parts of your body where you're feeling tension. Okay. Where you're feeling any sort of tightness, tension, anything that you need to release, anything that feels stuck. Oh, Yeah, always, always my upper back and my neck is where I carry most of my tension. But for you, if it's your legs, your lower back, wherever it is, make sure that you are breathing. I am not breathing very well while I stretch, okay, but forgive me. Breathing while you stretch to release all of that stuckness. Okay, stretching is so important. Like, guys, seriously. That is one thing that I've learned as I've gotten older is God, we need to stretch. Okay, and then you shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Whew, all right. Hi, Mom. Nice to see you this morning. Um, Okay, so now we're going to set our intentions for the day together. I'm going to say my little morning prayer, calling in my spiritual support team, and I encourage you to do the same based on your spiritual beliefs. You can sit in silence, say your prayer, or do whatever you would like to do to call in your own spiritual support team and whatever that looks like for you. Okay, so here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of love and light connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Thank you, thank you, thank you for helping me set an intention that is in alignment with my highest good for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you for showing us all the signs and synchronicities and messages in nature, music, movies, through the cards that I pull and through the words that people say today and always. I appreciate you. I love you. I serve you. And I am grateful for any wisdom that you may have today or any day. And for myself or the collective. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Okay. Woo! All right. So while you think about your own individual intention, we've set the stage. We've called in our spiritual support team, and now set the intention for the day of what you want to embody for the day, how you want to show up in your day. And I'm going to remind you to please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Me First TV. Thank you very much. And please ding that notification bell so that you know when I am going live. Usually in the mornings, Monday through Friday is when I show up. So you can find out there exactly when I come on. And don't forget that if you have not yet downloaded your free guide to transformation, please go ahead and do that. The link is in the description, as well as a link to my calendar. If you're looking for a session, whether it is a personal strategy session, a couples session, or a card reading for yourself or as a couple, I do have some spots open, so go ahead and book yourself in. And that's it. A little reminder for you. Okay, so let's begin, right? What are we talking about today? Avoiding your pain, okay? Pain doesn't disappear when it's ignored, right? It waits for you to notice it and validate it. Now, I'm going to share a personal story here because, as you know, I have a lot of grief that I need to process because of my husband. Those of you who know, my husband, and those of you who don't, my husband died just over 2 years ago. Well over 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago. And he had cancer. So he had a very intense an aggressive cancer, an appendix cancer. I know you've never heard of it. We had never heard of it either. It's very rare. It was a 1.5-year battle that sucked. And then he died here in hospice at home. So there's a lot of stuff, and I share this with you because it was a obviously very, very painful experience. And I'm someone who talks about this stuff all the time. And I talk about my husband, and my kids talk about their dad, and he is very present in our lives. And yet, there are certain things in the grieving process that I have not processed, that I have not addressed. In some cases, it is avoidance because I don't necessarily like to sit with my feelings of being alone, of feeling abandoned, all the things that we feel. Obviously, I don't blame my husband for his illness, and I'm not mad at him. But I do have a lot of feelings about sort of what I am now dealing with in the aftermath of that trauma. Okay. And the things that I can sit with, that I see, that I pay attention to, I do try and sit with it. And then there's other things that I don't even notice. I don't notice that I'm putting it away. I don't notice that I'm hesitating. I don't notice that I'm avoiding. Um, Give me a second. Hi, I'm on live. I got your message. I love you. Goodbye. That is, um, that was my son calling me from upstairs, just giving me some information. Okay. And I was afraid that was going to keep ringing if I didn't answer it. So that being said, let us continue with our little talk about avoidance. Okay, so here's the truth. Okay, the only way that you're going to get through whatever it is that you are navigating in your life, the only way that you're going to get through that pain is to literally go through it. It is to sit in that discomfort. Okay, and the reason I say that is, okay, so here is the indication that there may be something that you are avoiding in your life. Your emotions, right? So if you find that you are getting triggered, right? Your anger is bubbling up to the surface, your sadness is bubbling up to the surface, right? We talk about these emotions that typically we label as negative, right? And yes, they're labeled as negative because we don't feel good when we feel those feelings, right? But they're not negative emotions. They are just emotions that are connected to what it is that we have experienced in our lives. And so when those emotions come up for you, whether it's anger or fear or sadness or frustration, and you find yourself in the thick of that feeling, okay, and I say this because I know what I'm talking about, you may have the urge to avoid, to, well, it may trigger your fight, flight, fawn, response, right? And that's okay because that's just how it works, right? You get that response is triggered. You either fight or you flight, right? You avoid it, get rid of it, or you start to fawn, to sort of massage it to try to please anyone around in order to diffuse the situation. Again, not a mistake. None of those things are a mistake. It's how you're naturally dealing with it. But at the end of the day, when you start to go into that pattern of fighting or avoiding or um, perhaps numbing the pain that you might be feeling, then that is an indication that it's time to sit with it. It's time to sit in the discomfort. You have to address it. You have to address it for yourself because if you don't address it, that feeling is going to come back over and over and over again. Right? If you don't allow yourself to be angry, if you don't allow yourself to be sad, if you don't allow yourself to feel abandoned or betrayed by people that you love, right? Because and here's the thing, sometimes we don't let ourselves feel our feelings because we don't want to impose any negativity or any stickiness in the relationship with the people that we might be feeling that with, right? Like, I don't want to be mad at you, so I'm just going to say, you know what, I understand why you did that, and I'm not going to be mad, and I'm going to release it, which is okay for you to do, and it's important, right, to acknowledge what the reason someone else does something. Accepting that reason and loving them and accepting them is an important part of the relationship process. But here's the thing, if you don't acknowledge your own hurt, if you don't acknowledge your own boundaries that have been crossed, if you don't acknowledge your own experience within that relationship dynamic, well, then you are not doing what you need, right? You are not advocating for yourself and you are just stuffing it down and you are pleasing the other person, right? That's almost a fawn response, right? Where it's like, you did something that really upset me, but I totally understand and I love you and that's okay, right? And yes, that may be the conversation ultimately you want to have with somebody, right? Where it's like, okay, you really hurt me, but I understand and I don't want this to affect our relationship forever, so it's okay and I forgive you, right? That is good, right? But if before you get to the point where you accept and forgive whatever has happened to you, if you have not acknowledged your experience, if you have not allowed yourself to feel angry or betrayed or sad or abandoned or whatever it is that you feel, if you do not allow yourself to feel it, then you're just shoving that feeling down. You're just avoiding those feelings in order to not make the other person uncomfortable. And it's also in order for you to not feel uncomfortable in that relationship, right? You're like, I'm not going to get upset because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I just don't want to get into a fight with this person, right? And we do it over and over and over and over again. And every time we deny our experience, we are shoving one more feeling down into our body, and our body is holding one more thing. And it's like, okay, right? It's like the pack rat, right? Like the pack rat. It's not the pack rat. Oh no, I was thinking of the pack mule. Okay. Um, when we used to go on family trips, and my husband always was the pack mule, and it was the joke because we would just like hand him stuff, and he would have bags and things, and be going onto the beach, and he'd have all this stuff on him, right? Because we didn't want to carry it, so we would give it to him, and he would lovingly take all of the stuff. But see, this is what your body is doing for you and your emotions, right? I don't want to carry this. I don't want to think about it. Let me just shove it down. Ooh, I don't want to deal with that discomfort. I don't want to get into a fight with that person. Let me just shove that down. You know what? If you say that you're angry in this moment, it's just going to cause a whole thing. You know what? I don't need to do that. Boom, shoving it down. And let me tell you that eventually, if you keep shoving things down and shoving things down and avoiding and denying the things that you feel and the experiences that you have that are legitimate, okay? Well, at some point, your body is just going to be like, too much, blah, and you have outbursts and you have emotional breakdowns and you have freakouts. And suddenly you find yourself throwing a chair across the room and you don't know why, because it's not because you spilled the milk, or it's not because you dropped an egg on the kitchen floor. It's because you have been holding all of your anger, sadness, despair, abandonment, everything that you've been feeling, you've been holding it. And at some point, something will happen that is going to trigger all of it. And it's going to be like a volcano, and it's just going to erupt outside of you. And I hope actually it erupts outside of you and not in you, because that's a whole other thing. Okay. Hi, Chris. Hi, Sean. I'm so glad you guys are here. Okay. So I really just want to impress upon you the importance to sit with your discomfort. So if you find yourself about to get into a fight, or looking for you know a um I was going to say, like, something that you numb yourself with, like if you find yourself looking for one of your um numbing tools, okay, whatever that might be for you, okay, it might be scrolling, it might be drinking, it might be just going out and putting yourself in another situation, which is good when you need a distraction, but it's not good if you don't allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, okay? And now this is not sitting in it for 45 years, okay? This is just when the feeling comes up for you, instead of reacting, feel the feeling, acknowledge the feeling, validate the feeling, and like in your head, I want you to be like, yes, I am angry. And this is why I'm angry, because that what that person did was hurtful, because this situation, it broke me, because this is something that I am having a really hard time processing, because I can't believe that that person lied, or I can't believe that I can't trust that person. I can't believe that this situation happened. I can't believe I did this to myself. I can't believe that they did it to me. I can't believe, like, whatever it is that you're experiencing, I want you to really sit in it and feel it. You are allowed to be angry. You are allowed to be sad. I said this yesterday. You're allowed to be crazy, okay? You're not allowed to express or process those feelings, you know, at another person, or, towards another person, in the sense of like just taking out your anger, just, exploding, because that's what happens when we don't allow ourselves to sit in the feelings. This is why you need to stop. This is why you need to feel it, right? You have to sit with your discomfort and accept it for what it is without judgment. Okay. This happened to me. Stop and try to avoid going, because I'm an idiot, because I didn't, anything that involves the inner critic. The inner critic does not belong in this process. Okay. The inner critic is for another time, that you may need, their advice or opinion or insight, right? But not during the healing process. The healing process is simply, what is going on? Why do you feel this way? What is it that you're feeling? And you sit and I'm like, God, I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm angry because I feel abandoned. I'm angry because I can't believe I'm in this situation. I'm angry because, I have all this to do and I'm terrified that I cannot accomplish it. I am terrified that I don't know what I'm doing. I am terrified that I am going to have to face consequences that I don't have the capacity to face. Okay. I want you to be honest and real and raw with yourself. When you feel those feelings, it is okay. It is okay to be scared. It is okay to admit out loud that you don't know what the hell you're doing, that you're terrified of what's coming, whether it is with yourself in your own life because of your life circumstances, or because of what's happening on a national level or on a global level. We are all scared. We are all angry. We are all sad and deeply, deeply grieving the life that we thought we were supposed to have at this point. I guarantee you, no matter who you are, no matter whether you are, no matter how you identify, okay, in the world, and no matter how old you are or what phase of life you're in, I promise you that I promise you, I don't have to promise you. I want you to notice that what you are feeling right now is this disconnect and disappointment with what you thought you should be experiencing in your life right now and what you are actually experiencing. I mean, this is something I even notice with my children, right? Children are supposed to be running around carefree and enjoying childhood. Well, they don't enjoy childhood anymore because they're just so wrapped up in everybody's stuff because of social media. But that's another discussion. Okay. But they too cannot easily process their emotions a lot of times, because we don't let them, because their emotions make us feel uncomfortable. And this is the cycle that we need to break, the generational cycle of you, starting with you yourself. You need to be okay with facing your feelings. You need to be okay with understanding that things happen and they're not your fault. Okay. And if the things are you look at them as your fault, then you look at them with compassion and grace and understand that you did the best that you could with what you had. Even if you think you could have done better, even if you think you should have done better. All right. This healing process is about acceptance without judgment. And then you release it, right? And how do you release it? Maybe you don't understand how to do that. I know that I don't always understand how to do that, but the releasing is the trust, right? When you are done feeling your feelings, when you are done accepting without judgment, like really like, oh my God, this is a terrible situation. I accept this. I forgive myself for my participation. If you can't forgive other people, that's okay. It doesn't have to be that way. You get to the point that you can in that acknowledgement, in that acceptance, and then you say, that's all I can do right now. And I leave the rest to God, or I leave the rest to the universe, or I leave the rest to my angels, however you want to say it. And literally, like, just I release the rest. And, thank you for the universe to, you can thank the universe, thank your angels, thank God, thank Jesus, thank whoever you want in your spiritual support team for helping you release it. Even if you don't feel like you're releasing it, even if you don't know what you're doing, set that intention. And I promise you, if you validate those feelings, the next time you are faced with feelings like that, the next time that you are faced with a situation or a challenge that is similar, the work that you did to face those feelings is going to come up and you're going to feel lighter. It is not going to be quite as intense. Okay. Each time you face that discomfort, you gain strength and clarity, right? You gain confidence knowing that you can face that discomfort and still go on with your day, that you can be and accept what has happened to you in your life. You can accept the circumstances, right? And you can still move on and make different choices and not let all of the things that have happened to you affect every single part of your life, because it does affect your life. And if it affects your life consciously, well, then you can do something about it. But if it affects your life unconsciously, if you are avoiding it, then it is affecting your life in ways that get out of hand, right? Because there's so much going on underneath the surface, plus whatever you're avoiding, it just seeps into every decision, it seeps into every action you take. And so, this is an important part of your healing journey, okay? You have to release it, you have to face it, you have to accept that things are what they are, however it is that they are at the moment. And this does go hand in hand with my, feel, heal, and get real, right? Because the get real part comes after, right? You release it and then you're like, get real. What can I do now? What is in my power? All right. Each time you face the things that make you uncomfortable, that pain loses its power over you. Okay. And I want you to know and trust that when you release it, the next time that it shows up for you, it will be lighter. You will have gotten a little bit more perspective to be able to handle it differently. Okay. And, this is just, I feel so, I can't find my words, guys. It's so terrible. Oh my God. Okay. Um, I feel really strongly about taking these steps. And if you have trouble going through this on your own, I recommend you reaching out to a professional. If you want to go get a therapist, or you need a coach, I'm available, right? You need to sit with the emotions that make you uncomfortable. And you need to be okay with your discomfort, because let me tell you something, when you practice being okay with being uncomfortable, then you will also be practicing being okay with other people's discomfort, right? Because other people's discomfort make us uncomfortable, right? And so if you can handle with your own discomfort, then other people's discomfort also will not stop you, will not factor into your choices or your actions, which so often they do, because we're like, I don't want to really upset that person. I don't want to have to deal with their emotions. I don't want to even have to hear what they have to say if I make this choice. And we do that and then make choices based on what we do or don't want to deal with, right? But if you practice facing the things that make you uncomfortable, guess what? You will never resist what you need to do, because you'll be like, well, that's going to suck. It's uncomfortable. But you know what? Roll up your sleeves. I have practiced being uncomfortable. And so I'm just going to do it again. And the more you practice being uncomfortable, well, you're uncomfortable, okay? It's never going to feel good. But guess what? It's going to go faster. You will feel uncomfortable for less time. You will understand it's part of the process, and you will be able to move through that discomfort much quicker, much more easily, and it will improve not only your relationship with yourself, but your relationship with others. Because if you do not fear the discomfort that conversations bring, that actions bring, right? If you do not fear the discomfort that you may cause other people with your choices, well, then you can do anything, right? Because nothing will stop you if you don't care about feeling uncomfortable. Because being uncomfortable is the key to growth. Being uncomfortable is your path to success. Being uncomfortable and practicing that discomfort and knowing that you can do that is basically the door that opens you up to all of the possibilities. Because if you don't mind being uncomfortable, well, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. There is nothing that you won't do. And that means that you're going to be willing to take more chances. That means you're going to be jumping on more opportunities. That means that you are going to be more involved in your life than ever before, because you are not going to be scared. You're not going to be scared of what comes, right? Because you're going to be like, I'm used to feeling uncomfortable, so let's go. And that's what I hope for you and wish for you. I hope and wish that you feel uncomfortable today and every day. Just for a little bit though, just a little discomfort, okay? I just want you to practice it and get used to it. I don't want you to feel it all the time because that sucks, okay? All right, I'm gonna pull an oracle card today and one tarot card, okay, from the Luna Soul Tarot. Okay, so first I'll do an oracle card, get us a little advice about facing the discomfort because once again, I have like these mornings, I just talk and talk and talk. All right. Let's see, one card. Breathe. Well, isn't that appropriate? Okay. The one piece of advice that the oracle has for you while you face the things that make you feel uncomfortable is to breathe. Okay. Number 29. Okay. And 9 plus 2 is 11. 11 is a spiritual number. If you guys watch me, you know I love that 1111. And the advice is to breathe. And I'll actually read it. Okay. I'll read it because why not? Okay. Here we go. 29. Patience, waiting, going slowly, wellness, meditation, and trust. The oracle's message is this: patience in all things is called for right now. What do you need to do when you're in a rush? Slow down, of course, meditate and trust, breathe and repeat. Humans cannot exist without drawing breath. Now is the time to allow the life giving element of air to replenish your body, your being, and your very essence. Stop to smell the roses, breathe in the sunlight, and release the darkness, and miracles will appear. I love that message. Okay. I love it. Let that be your encouraging message for today is when you are feeling your feelings and you are sitting in that discomfort that is so unbelievably hard to do, remember to breathe and allow that life force energy from the universe to fill your body and hold you and witness that pain with you. And then when you exhale, release it and trust that Mother Nature is going to take that and just let it go for you and help transmute it into something positive and productive for the universe. Oi, Rodrigo. O que é que tu... Patrícia, é incrível. Amo esse ser humano lindo desde sempre. Aw. Come on, stop, you're gonna make me cry. Tinha 15 anos, tudo o que faz, tudo o que diz, é sempre com muita credibilidade. Amo essa mocinha linda. Oh, eu amo-te também, Rodrigo. Oh, I love getting love. My friend Rodrigo. You guys, if you're Portuguese, you know Rodrigo. His dad was the famous Roberto Leal and who was one of the most amazing humans on the planet. He was one of my favorite humans. And Rodrigo, you're still one of my favorite humans too. Ok, mais uma carta, ok? Esta é para ti, ok? Esta é para ti. Rodrigo, this one's for you. How do we face our fears? I don't know. The discomfort is real, man. Chegaste aqui só para fazer chorar. Ok. All right, last one, and then I gotta go because Mama's gotta work. All right, what is our card here? Oh my God, again. How many times do we get the Six of Swords, people? It's the Six of Swords, okay? And look, right, the Six of Swords, I always see this as your, like, these are our worries, our concerns, the things that weigh on us, right? That weigh in our thoughts, those things that we have to navigate, right? And we have to navigate it carefully. And this is all connected to us feeling those feelings, right? Like we are always like gingerly trying to like, I don't want to disrupt this person. I don't want to disrupt this feeling. I don't want to rock the boat because that's going to be a whole thing I need to deal with. You see, right? How she's walking gingerly on the swords, trying to get to the other side. But guess what? At some point, she's going to have to pick up those swords and she's going to have to look at them and use them and address them and face them. Okay. And that's what we need to do. We need to face the swords in our life and not be afraid, right? And if you are afraid to do it alone, then reach out to somebody who can support you, who can help you, who can sit with you while you face the pain, while you sit with your grief, while you sit with the loss and disappointment of a life that maybe you thought would look different at this point. Okay? Have faith that slowly, bit by bit, one step at a time, you are going to get to exactly where you need to go. And if you need support, I'm here. Go out and find a friend, a connection. I promise you, there are other people there who are looking also for that same connection. Reach out and get the support you need. And whatever feels uncomfortable, just know that that discomfort is transmuting your evolution, right? When you sit with that discomfort, that is shifting your energy. That is allowing that energy to be released because you're seeing it. You're saying, you're acknowledging it. You're saying, I see you. I see how much pain you're in. I see how much hurt is happening. And I love you anyway. And I'm going to be here for you, even though this sucks more than anything. And we need to do that for ourselves. And oh God, we need to do that for each other. So please, just know that your presence with somebody who's struggling is just as important as you sitting with your own pain. Okay, if you can sit with somebody else as they go through their own processes, that is how we can contribute to the world. Um, Commit essa carta. I know, right? Okay, mais uma carta. We'll do one more card so we don't end with the Six of Swords because that kind of sucked. It didn't suck. It's just true, man. It's just true. We got to sit with the discomfort, right? We just got to do it. Okay, last one. Oh my God. Okay, let's go with the Luna Soul Tarot one more time. Let's see what jumps out. Only one card jumping out, okay? Only one. Give me one. Give me one good one to end with. It did not give me a good one. Okay, try again. See, I'm just thinking too much. Oh, one popped out. All right, what is it? Queen of Swords. Okay, this is a good one. You know why? Because this Queen of Swords is all about boundaries. The Queen of Swords, she does not deal with garbage, okay? She's like, face it, cut it out. I don't like it, move on, right? She does not sit in her feelings, okay? Much like many other cups. Okay, this is not about feelings, right? But this is about setting up boundaries to protect yourself. It is about setting up your success and cutting out all the things that don't serve you, right? And that's what this is, releasing those emotions, sitting in that discomfort and understanding that it is a part of you. It has contributed to who you are, and releasing anything that doesn't serve you and just cutting it out and taking that knowledge and the information that you learn from sitting in that, right? Because don't forget, when you're sitting in your feelings, what's coming up for you is information, right? When you realize, oh, this person hurt me and I can forgive them, but now I know that they will not support me in this situation. Or now I know that when this happens, they're not going to be there for me, right? That is information. And the Queen of Swords, she takes that information and she keeps it in her back pocket, right? And she knows that she needs to build boundaries around that information. So you can release your anger, your frustration, or all your feelings, but you don't forget. You take that information as knowledge and then you use it in order for you to then grow within that relationship or grow as an individual. Ok, Rodrigo, tem que ler. Fé, um caminho para poucos, é verdade. Quando está tudo claro, não chamamos a fé nas nossas cabeças, mas é quando está escuro e quando o caminho está claro. Quando não vemos luz no final do túnel, é aí e nessa hora que mais fé temos que ter. É verdade, Rodrigo, eu digo isso sempre, sempre, sempre. É quando nós temos no escuro, é quando a fé, quando temos que puxar a fé, right? And so what my amazing, beautiful friend is saying in Portuguese for you guys that don't understand is that faith, it only shows up when you are in the darkness, when you are in deep despair, right? That is when you need to lean into your faith. It's easy to have faith when everything's going well and the sun is shining and it's beautiful weather and you're out with your friends and maybe you're on vacation, right? It's easy to say, oh, the universe is always looking out for me and always has my back, right? When everything's going well. But when things suck and you feel disconnected and abandoned and hurt by life, that's when you need to lean into faith and you need to trust that God or your spiritual support team are leading you through this pain for your benefit, for you to build the strength and resilience that you need in order to face the next part of your journey, in order for you to rise up and succeed as the evolutionary being that you are supposed to become. Okay. So I encourage you all today to sit in your feelings, to feel a little uncomfortable, and then go on with your day and do something fun. Okay. Because you're going to need to do something fun if you sit in your feelings, because your feelings sometimes can suck. And if you need support, don't forget, I am here. My appointments are open if you need someone to hold your hand through the discomfort. I promise you, no judgment. I will simply witness what you need witnessed. Okay. So that's it for today. I got to run. I truly love you all. Rodrigo, te amo. Mom, I love you too. Anyone else that's watching, thank you for being here. And, pass it along for anybody else who you think may benefit from this information. Aside from that, I will see you tomorrow for Fun Friday. And I will be back next week with more lessons. So have a wonderful day. I love you all. Keep shining your light.